Hi, welcome to the Wednesday night Bible study. So we're gonna go. Before we go, let's pray. Start with the prayer. Father God, we truly thank you for this day. Thank you for being with us and guiding us. May you continue to be with us and give us wisdom and understanding, so that through the words and through the things that we're about to learn, Lord God, may we continue to be a righteous servant before you, and a someone who you can rely on, so that we could be there for you and do the works that you have prepared for us, Lord. Thank you for all you have done, and pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen. All right, so we're going to look at two scriptures, Proverbs 15 and 4, and Proverbs 18 and 4. So, Proverbs 15 and 4 says, "The tongue that brings healing is tree of life, but deceitful tongue crushes the spirit." All right, let's go to 18 and 4. I like this Bible. The words are huge. All right. 18 and 4. It says, "The word of man's mouth are deep waters, but the fountain of wisdom is a bubbling brook." All right, so we're going to see. I don't know what that is.
Oh, just erase it. That's Joshua's.
Oh. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and learn about the power of words. By the way, those of you joining us in the Facebook, I put my materials on Facebook, so please go ahead and see from there. Look through there and make sure you get all the materials that I'm going with the people who are here, so you can follow along with me. So, power of words is the topic that we're going to learn about today. I did talk about a little bit about conversation, the art of conversation, not too long ago. So this is a little bit different. It's more focused on the word itself. So conversation is also about relationship and how we deal with people. But this one, it's about words itself. What do we do? 15, 4, 18, 4. All right, so as we learn about this, the first question is, have you ever heard something that truly made you happy or very angry? Yeah, yes. We all did. There's somebody said, "Oh, certain things that made you like, whoa, yay," or happy, joyful, full of life, excitement, right? Other words, you probably going, "What? Why?" Or like, "Or," and it fills you with anger, and all the negative emotions that you didn't want, it's just bubbling out because of those words. So words has power. There's a saying that pen is mightier than the sword, right? The pen is mightier than the sword, meaning the words are mightier than the weapon itself. It's more deadly. That's what he's saying. So words that we use each and every day. We use words every day, unless you are unable to do so, unless you're incapable of doing it. Words can bring so much out of us. It brings certain emotion. It brings certain trigger. It could bring us something that we never had before, or it brings something that we didn't want. We could lose it or we could gain it. There are so many aspects and spectrum of the words that could do to you and do to us, all of us. So number 2 says, what words that we speak has power beyond comprehension. Why does it so much power? Why does it have? I forgot to put it there. But why does it have so much power? Right? Why does it have so much power? Well, because the reason is, the first one, words are the intent of your heart, intent of your mind and heart. So when you speak your mind, when you speak your heart, it brings out a power. That's something that it's hard for us to really pinpoint. There's no really exact science that we could go into to pinpoint that. But what makes it? Obviously, psychology studies that and why, and so definitely the words do when we speak our mind and heart, it does evoke emotions, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Okay, so when we use the words to show our intent of our heart and our intent of our mind, it does bring negative or positive reactions, which is powerful. Remember, bringing out emotion is a power, right? Emotion is a power. You're bringing that out, so that itself is also a power. Um, Words are direction and instructions to others. Words show desire and wish. Words can open and close minds. Words can bring pain and encouragement. Words can label someone or solidify someone. Like, for example, you are an idiot.
Oh,
You are a genius.
okay.
Even if it's not. If we keep saying it, it's a label that he gets with. So, like, nickname is powerful, right? Certain nickname sticks with it because it brings that, oh, yeah, that's you. Like, what makes it? Well, it's just words. Why do we put so much emphasis in it? Because it's a power, something that evokes something out of you. Okay, so words do that. So that labeling is such a powerful thing. So that's what's going on today. All the media and all the people who are extremists to the left or to the right, they just throw labels at each other.
Yeah.
You're fascist. You're anti-American.
Yeah.
You are this. You are that. They just throw sling mud by labeling each other, right? They're not literally slinging mud, but they're slinging the mud of words. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're this, you're that, you're white supremacist, or you are commies. So people go nuts over that, and when you do that, you all of a sudden labeling that person as such. So anyone who look like this is SJW, you're leftist, or if you look like that, you're Trumper, you're Trump supporter. And like, okay, well, why is it bad? Well, because
It's just because.
Yeah. Right. So the words can label someone or solidify someone. Words can bring light or darkness. Words can bring people closer or push others away. Words can build up or destroy, tear down someone. Hitler is a great example. Hitler said that if you're not blue eye, white skin, blonde hair, you're imperfect.
But
Yeah.
he's the dark hair mustache.
You're not, Aryan race.
Yeah.
If you're not Aryan race, if you don't look like us, you're no good. You're defective. So therefore, you could treat others who are defective like animals, and which they did. Nazis went into they hauled millions of people into the concentration camp and let them die in such a horrific manner. I mean, you think about this for a moment. When you put somebody in a gas chamber, men, women, children, young and old, you watching them die. You watching them cry, they're begging, But when you're looking at them, because of Hitler's words, right? Because he's coming from a power of authority, and he's giving them power to say, they're not human, you are. They're worthless, you are. He's giving them values through his words. He's not giving them value through anything else. There's no other means to measure that value. Only way to measure the value is to give them labels, tell them what they are, so that you could either destroy them or you build them up. So Hitler's building his people up saying we're the superior race. Jews are bad. Jews are no good. Gay, those are those are no good. So you could treat them as bad as much as wherever you want. They're not your neighbors. They're not human beings at all. They're animals. So that's how words either destroy or tear down or build somebody up. Words can bring life or bring death. It's. I mean, is it little? Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes the words you say could bring life, or your words you say could really kill somebody. It may not be immediate, but it could lead them to spiral, where eventually
they will just suicide themselves.
yeah, they lose all hope and faith and value of themselves, where they just die. Words can show the truth or cover up the truth or twist the truth. So words can cover things up, or words can reveal things that we didn't know before. So these are some of the examples that words could do. And now we see that words has power, words has authority, words has something that we can't quite put something on it. We can't touch words, right? We can't going, this is word. We can't do that. Because we speak it every day. We make every day. We generate words and sentences each day and every day. So I just want you to know that you have to be keenly aware of how you use the words and how you really direct others or influencing others with the words that you speak. And so as a parent, I am trying to be aware of how I speak, what I speak. I try to be aware of that because, children are the direct reflection, they're the mirror of you, right? So if you're a parent, your children are the mirrors of you. So they're acting, they're saying things the way they are doing because of you, because you're influencing them with the words that you do, words that you say. So there is a power of I. So what it is the I statements could, for example, I am happy. I am powerful, right? So I statement is a direct correlation of how you are or how you feel. So when I say I know versus I think I know, it's two similar statements, but it brings out two different vibes. The one says I know. It's a confidence. It shows confidence. It shows that you are on top of things, that you know what you're doing. Versus I think I know. It gives us less confidence. It feels like you don't know what you don't know what you're doing. People who choose leaders, when they hear, when you watch presidential debates, boy, they're being coached. You guys know that, right? They're being coached. So don't say this word. Say this word. I know. I am. I will. I shall. I promise. These are the words of confidence. There's a power of I know. I can. Yes, I am. Those are the statements of power. Those are the statements of confidence. Those are the statements telling other people, okay, you can trust me. You can follow me. You know that when you there's a commercial. I forgot what's it's a loan company. It's a cookie loan, I think. So it says, well, do you want to be? The guy was looking through offers and I think this is right. And the guy comes out as well. You want to be sure, or you want to kind of be sure? And then he takes him to a surgery. And it's about to operate on him. Do you want that doctor who's kind of sure, or do you want that doctor who's sure, right? And then yeah, I want somebody who's sure, right? So so it is the power of I. I am, right? For example, Moses, when he was at the burning bush, he said, God said, okay, go to Egypt, tell Pharaoh, I have sent you. And Moses asked God, okay, who do I say that sent me? So he's asking name of God, right? Which you don't usually do. So he said, Yahweh, meaning I am. I am said, tell I am sent me. The statement of power. I am. And that's all you need to know. I am. That's a strange name. Yahweh. That's the strange name, but it's I am. What do you need? What else do you need to know? I am. I am God. You don't need to know anything else, right? So the power of statement of I am. Power of I, right? I know. I am. So when you say words like that, I'm just trying to show you how the perspective changes when you use the word certain words versus certain words. This type of statement of words versus that type of statement of words. So when you say I know versus I think I know, two different things. Okay, even though you probably meant the same, right? So it's a power of I. Okay, I can, states the clear intentionality, clear thoughts and clear presentation of what you want whoever's listening to know. There's also a power of manipulation. So when you think about power of manipulation, we use words to manipulate people. We use words to manipulate others' actions and their thoughts. So a lot of, but I don't know why, but people who are evil tends to be very influential. They influence and manipulate other people through the words they use, right? So they're very clever. They're usually these are some of the characteristics that that the people who manipulators have is charisma. They all have charisma. People who are out there influencing people or manipulating people in a negative way always have charisma. Like Hitler, he has charisma. He's like he's sure of himself. He's like passionate about it. Then also the second trait is that they're passionate about things. They know, they understand, they fully capable of all the things that they're saying. This is the truth, even though that's a flat out lie. That's a lie. Yet when they say it, it's oh man, that sounds good. Yeah, I agree with that. That's how we manipulate. The power of words can change people's minds. The people who are in Cambodia during Pol Pot days, when Pol Pot was telling people that all the educators, teachers, lawyers, doctors, they're no good. They're the enemy of the state. That's what he said. They're the enemy of the state, where we need to get rid of them. We need to get rid of them because we all gonna be farmers. He's like, we're all gonna be farmers. Nobody needs to be educated. Nobody needs to know anything. So that's what he's influenced them to act to the point where he's killing these people, innocent people, killing their neighbors, killing their sometimes cousins, because they're educated, they're teachers, they're lawyers, doctors, whatever they're no good. How did that? Well, he manipulated them with the words, and that usually we do that. Why the manipulation is a purely selfish act. There's no other reasons for that other than you want to be selfish about it. You want to turn people to the way you want them to go. You want to act. You want them to act a certain way. You want them to believe in certain ways. You want them to understand certain things. So you intentionally block out certain things. Remember, the words can also block, right? It covers the truth. They cover the truth, kind of show partial truth, and then the rest of it add lies, where it becomes the new truth. That's the power. You're manipulating to get influence and power from other people.
Isn't it also manipulating means that they use something of what the person or all the people really, really wants, and they use that to add it into it, manipulate them to make them believe.
Yeah. That's basically what's happening right now. All the prosperity gospel preachers, they're using them. Everybody wants to be rich, right? I haven't seen anybody say, "Oh no, I'd rather be poor." There's very far in between those people. Those are very few and far in between, right? Most people, majority of people, 99.9% of the people, I'm sure, they want to be rich. If somebody gives you stacks of cash, they're gonna say no. They say, "I want that. I don't mind that. Even I don't mind. If somebody gives me a bag full of cash," I said, "What is it? It's for you. I can have it." "Yeah."
Mm-hmm.
"What for?" "Because I like you." "Okay.
Okay, just take it.
I will take it."
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not illegal.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not stolen or anything.
it's not stolen, or it's not a blood money, or it's not drug money or anything. As long as it's clean and they just want me to have it, I'll take it. I'll think about it. I'll think very hard. I'll think very hard, right? Yeah. This is they say, "Oh yeah, you want to be rich? Pay me."
Yeah.
So I could pray to God. So you could have the power. So you could have the authority. So you could be rich, like me. Oh, wow.
Isn't it Scientology does that?
Yeah, well, then a lot of people does that. But also parents-children relationship is like that too. When you tell your child, "Hey, you need to behave a certain way," because you're selfish. Right? Parents are selfish. What can I say? Parents are selfish. They're not doing it for the kids, even though they're saying, "I'm doing it for you." Really, you're doing it for yourself. You're manipulating. When you're manipulating your child to do certain things or forcing them to do certain things, you're doing it for yourself. Usually, most of the time, you're doing it for yourself. You gotta study hard. This is for your own good. Well, most of it, there are certain truths to that, but really, you want to make sure that he does good so that you look good. You don't want to go around the town going, "Yeah, my kid's a failure."
No.
No parent wants to hear that. No parent wants to hear their child is a failure.
No.
As a parent, I don't want that. I don't want my kid to fail, right? But I try not to manipulate them, and I try to stay out of their way, or make sure that I do my boundaries with them, so that they don't go outside the boundaries, certain boundaries, so that they could stay within the boundary of God and our relationship, so that we could grow. That's different. But people oftentimes, they use the words to manipulate them by saying, "I'm doing this for you." The one thing that nobody wants to hear is nagging. Nobody wants to hear nagging, because I said this before, but nagging doesn't really help any. Is it people who are nagging says, "But I'm telling you the truth." Perhaps you are. Maybe you are telling the truth. But people, there's certain, sometimes for certain people, you have to learn how to say the truth in a manner that they can understand. But if you just continue to nag, and say, let's say you have a son. "I'm telling you the truth, right? You are no good. You are not doing your work, therefore you will fail." What kid wants to hear this every day? Nobody, right? Even though that is the truth, right? It is the truth. If you don't study hard, you most likely you are not going to make it in life. Because if you don't know how to read and write, well, how are you going to succeed in life, right? Not that you can't. There are people who succeed in life without reading and writing, but the nowadays, that's not going to
No,
happen.
it's different.
That's not going to happen, right? So most likely that's not going to happen unless money fell in your lap. That's not going to happen. Yeah, even if your money fell on your lap, I guarantee you'll lose everything because you didn't know read and write. So it's the truth. Son, you have to learn how to do this, or else you're a failure. Or if you fail in something, say, hey, I don't understand. You're no good. You're not good at this. Why are you not getting? If you keep nagging about how he failed, he will not listen to you. He will not go, oh, thanks, Dad. Really, I see the errors of my way. No kid does that. No kid on earth listens to the parents nagging, going, oh, I got it. No. They listen when you say in a manner, in a tone, in the words of encouragement mixed in with the truth. That's when they start listening, right? Well, it's the truth. But but you're not helping. You're tearing him down, really. You're tearing him down with your truth. You need to mix in some encouragement and the truth at the same time.
That's how I usually tell my sister that too. I have another sister with me. She's a little older than my youngest one, Katie. Her name's Rebecca. She always put my son down all the time, and then both my younger sister and I, we just told him, okay, you need to stop. If you keep tearing him down, he will constantly going down. So you need to stop, and you need to be careful with your words. We did tell her a lot of times, your words does hurt, and it could bring a person down. And because like for me, when my son, it's that when he does his mistake, he did bad on his word. I was like, okay. So now you know what you need to do, and now you know what to do, right? He said, yeah, I know. I was gonna say, there you go. That's good. So now you know how to do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's the thing. You're trying to manipulate somebody
Yeah.
through nagging, saying, I'm trying to teach you how to do this. Well, the nagging doesn't help,
Yeah.
right?
Just like she always like my dad, she said, you're gonna be a doctor. It's like you can't tell him that you're gonna be a
Yeah.
doctor.
Yeah. So
It's like no.
it's the way our selfish heart comes out. So we need to be careful with that.
Yeah.
So life shapes the way we speak and how we speak. So that's number 5. Is that you can't say words if you never heard it before. If you never heard the word please, thank you, do you think the child learned how to say thank you and please? No. If you never said it, if you never heard it, how are you supposed to know how to say it? Right? Obviously, there is some DNA involved. The personality, obviously, does the shape, a little bit of shaping of who they are. But however, really, external influences are huge when it comes to children's life. So if you see people being courteous and being nice and using really nice words, using words of encouragement, using the words to really describe the beauties of people and really, lifting them up, the words of lifting people up, obviously that'll help. That will really be good. And when they grow up, that's how they're gonna act. That's how they're gonna speak. Right? You speak the things that you know. You're not going to speak the things that you don't know. If you never learned it, you will never speak it. So if you grew up watching your parents fight and curse and being mean to other people and gossiping other people and tearing people down, oh, did you hear about that? Oh, no. If you see this all the time, and that's how you that's how you learn that, oh, that's how you speak to other people, that's how you deal with other people, then you're gonna grow up just like that, just like what you saw. That's how you're gonna do, That's how you're gonna say it. That's how you're gonna speak. You know, you're gonna curse out people. You know, F you. You know, things like that. It just comes out naturally because that's all you know,
Yeah.
right? So when you and Dylan sometimes fight, you have to understand Dylan grew up not knowing anything about the things that we're trying to encourage him to be, right?
I do see it. I do see it. Going there, meeting his mom. I just saw from the moment, heard from the moment. I was like, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely it's coming from, he absorbed a lot of things that when he was young, and his peers influenced him heavily. So not that cynicism that he sometimes does because of that reason. Yeah. So we have to it's hard to change from the things that you know and try to add into new vocabulary, add a new attitude. These will take time, and takes patience to really to change.
It does take time a lot of change because for me it's the same thing. My parents never say those nice words, never say things, but for me it's just that we have a better the way how we looked at it. We don't go, I'm gonna do this way. Just like my parents, we think about like we're not gonna be like how you are, and we're not gonna teach our children like that. So we're not gonna be how you're teaching us to be like you. We're gonna teach them how to start to love. We start how to, say all these words, please, thank you, and stuff like the way you never taught us love or these this kind of things. So it's pretty much that we did self-taught ourselves because we started to grow independent. For I don't know how about my parents, but we did at a certain point. We did have some peers that were not really great for us. That's why we learned a lot of like cussing. But then again, you step because for instance that for me and my sisters and my brother, we step back and say, hey, we don't like that. We're not gonna follow those kind of peers, and we decide to go our own way and learn something that's better, that's better for our kids to learn.
Yeah. And so the environment that we grow up, things that we see, things that we hear, definitely influence us of who we need to, how we speak.
Yeah.
So to change that, it requires only God. So let's look into that. So number 6 says Jesus have words of life. So if you go John chapter 4, this is an interaction between, it's a famous interaction between women at the well, right? And Jesus being at the well. So just a quick background, Jesus was walking and he was going through the land of Samaria. And so as he was going up to the land through Samaria, usually Jews don't go through that region because they're kind of in the middle of Israel. So if northern Israel and the southern Israel, usually you have to go through that region, which is Samaria, or else you have to go around it.
Because in Samaria they're like mixed.
Yeah. So the reason why they don't try to not to associate with them because they are mixed. They're mixed race. So for Jews, purity by birth was very important. That God told them not to mix with other nations, right? In the beginning.
That's the only one. Yeah.
He didn't say that forever. He says in the beginning, because when they were entering into the promised land, he said that to make sure they don't associate the sinful nature of the exposing them to the sin and the other religion that they were bringing into their lives, because he knew if they did, they would surely fall for it and that they would be tempted. So that's why he said do not mix, But that got warped and twisted to the point where Samaritans are no good. Yeah. Samaritans are bad people. Are people who they treat them like dogs. So you see that here, verse 7 is when a Samaritan woman came to draw water, Jesus said to her, will you give me drink? Verse 8 says his disciple had gone into the town to buy food. Verse 9, Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink? For Jews do not associate with Samaritans." So she knows that he's not supposed to talk to him. She knew right away he's a Jew. But why? So what can we learn from this? Listen to what Jesus has said. He said, "Will you give me a drink?" He didn't say, "Oh, woman."
Yeah.
"Oh, Samaritan woman, don't come near me." Oh. He didn't say that. He didn't say to the words of discouragement or like a hostility, anything like this. It says, "Will you give me a drink?" He asked politely. He said, "Will you give me a drink?" He could have said, "Samaritan woman, give me water."
Demanding.
Yeah, he could have demanded, right? But he didn't. He went to her level and said, "Will you give me a drink?" He asked, right? And so she's taken back. Whoa, like, you're not supposed to interact with me, right? You're not, I'm a Samaritan, right? You don't associate with me.
Yeah.
So here, Jesus in a position of authority, someone who definitely is higher up in terms of status, and she is somebody who's underneath, right, in terms of status. Well, verse 10 says, if you knew the gift of God and who is it ask you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. So here, Jesus trying to heal this woman, right? His intention is not to embarrass her. His intention is not to show off, right, in any way. He says his intention is to heal. So look at how he uses the words. He says, "If you know who I am, you would have definitely asked me for a drink." That makes people curious. Who are you? Like, what? Why? What am I missing? Right? Jesus' words, he makes people curious. Wow. Okay. What does that mean? Right? You have to see this how he's playing it out. Verse 11 says, "Sir, woman said, you have nothing to draw with. The well is deep. Where can you get this living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did also his son and his flocks and herds?" What she's saying is, "Well, you're telling me you're bigger and greater than our ancestor, which is Jacob, right?
Yeah.
Are you bigger and greater than him?"
Isn't it that's Jacob's well?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, one of the Jacobs. Yeah. And so, yeah, Jesus answered, look how he answers her. "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give him will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give him will become in him a spring of water welling up to eternal life." Now he's gently encouraging her to see the truth. See how he uses the words. He's not saying, "Listen, woman, I am Son of God. Bow before me, pray before me. I am the living water. If you drink with me, if you drink through me, if you drink the water I give, which is, you will never die."
Mm-hmm.
She would have like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
Cuckoo. Or she could have said, "Well, who are you? How do I know this?" Right? But she's curious. She's gently ushering her in, because this woman is not just ordinary woman, right? She has what? "I have no husband," she replied. "You're right this is verse 17. "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is that you had 5 husbands, and the man you have is not your husband. What you have just said is quite true." He's not putting her down. He's not judging her. If it was Pharisee, immediately they would say, "Whoa, woman, you should be stoned to death." right? They would recite the Mosaic law and say, according to the law, you deserve this, you don't deserve that. So that's what a lot of the Pharisees and the Jews did towards the Samaritans. They banished them, they looked down upon them, they thought them as a less than human being because they're just born sinners. According to the law, you're no good. Right? But Jesus never said anything like that. Jesus gently brought them in. See how he gently brought her in. And even though he confronted her, right? You're right. You don't have a husband. You have 5 husbands. And then this guy that you're living with is not even your husband. Right? So he confronted the truth. But she's not taken by it. He's like, oh, I'm so ashamed. No. Not like that at all. Right? See how words that Jesus chooses to use brings life rather than shame, discouragement. It's not Jesus nagging at this woman. Oh, see, the truth is you're no good. Truth is you're a sinner. Truth is you're sleeping with this guy. Yet you have other 5 husbands. What is, you're a sinner. He could have gone on and on about nagged about how bad she is, how horrible she is as a human being. But he didn't. Right? Verse 19. Sir, the woman said, I can't see that you are a prophet. Our fathers worship on this mountain, but you, Jew, claim that the place where we must worship is Jerusalem. And so he brings her in, shows her life, shows that what you're doing is wrong. He showed her sin. And then say, look, believe me, woman, a time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor the Jerusalem. Your Samaritan worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know. For salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For they are not kind of worshippers the Father seeks. God is spirit, and his worshippers must worship in spirit and in truth. And she's saying, I understand who you are. I understand who Jews are. But neither them or you are not worshiping in a truth. This is how you do it. Right? That's how he brings the people in. This is how he shows the truth. This is how gentle and life-giving and encouraging Jesus is. For never one time he never put her down, even though she does deserve that. Even though she, according to the law, according to God, she has done something bad. But yet, he never talks about the part that she has done wrong or accused her of being wrong. He only states what she has done wrong so that she could own up to her sin. So this is a great conversation. How you can be encourager and not be somebody who just nags or points out the bad things about the people, and you become the judge. This is the part when it said, do not judge others. Jesus didn't judge her, right? So again, what was the result after Jesus had said this? Many of the Samaritans from that town believed him because of the woman's testimony. See how beautiful it is? See how words transformed her life into somebody who gave life to others. So this is how it works. When we have Jesus in your life, right? Theos. And ego. I have what? Sin. So if I have sin, what do I give? What do I give to others? Sin.
You give your own sin to him.
Remember, I can't give something I don't have. Right? I can't give life where I don't have a life. I have sin. So I will give sin. But if I have Christ, what do I give? What do you think I will give?
A lot more than just yourself.
Life. Hope.
Yeah.
That's what I'll give. I'll give Christ.
Because Christ gave you so much like life, hope, love, encouragement, faith, and so much.
You give what you have. Let's look at number 7. The word ruach. Okay, you have to say the it's the guttural sound. Ruach. Ruach is a Hebrew word for breath or wind. So the ruach could describe as a spirit, Holy Spirit. Ruach hovered over the darkness. God gave ruach to man to give life. So, in order for us to speak, what do we need? Obviously the body. But what else do we need?
The words, expression,
Breath.
breath.
Try speaking without breath. Can you speak without breath?
No.
I can't. I can't speak without breath. I need air, right? Because the lung expends the air out so that my vocal cord opens and shuts to make sounds, and then my tongue and do all all that opening and closing, and tongue working, doing all that, and my lips doing all that to create the words and the sound, right? Because in space, what's missing in space?
No air.
No air.
No air.
So sound travels, right, in a wave. Depending on the higher the scream, right, the higher the pitch, the shorter the wave, right?
Yeah.
The lower the pitch,
Goes
really the bigger the wave, right? So this doesn't happen without air. That's why when you scream in space, nobody could hear you because there's no air. So for the sound to travel. So the ruach, when God first created the human being, God gave us ruach. And so what did he put into us? Life. He first gave us life. He gave us his breath. Life. He gave himself unto us. That's why we are made in his image. So we have ruach. So that's why first Adam and Eve, before sin, they gave life. They spoke life. They spoke hope. But what happens when they sinned? They
spread out their sin.
Yeah, they began to spit out sin because that's what they had until they realized they need God. So when we have Christ, we speak ruach. The breath that comes out of us speaks life. So but when we have ego, me, everything about me, it's gonna be sin. It's gonna be anger. It's gonna be conflict. It's gonna be words of discouragement, words that will break people down. When we argue, what are we using? We're using emotion. That is not of life, but of sin. All the negative emotion comes out. Trust me, when you are having a heated argument, you do not have positive emotion coming out of you. Happiness, joy, that doesn't come out.
There's anger, sorrow, hate,
Yeah, resentment, all those things come out, right?
Yeah.
Because of what? Sin. Because of me. Because of the ego. Right? Ego, whatever how you say it. Look.
Yeah.
That's why in an argument, nothing good comes out. Because you're filling yourself with this. But when you're about to have an argument and you say, okay, I need to time away and I need to really gather myself. I need to put Jesus in. Then you could speak life and hope. Perhaps your words not as piercing. Perhaps your words not as devastating. Your words not as negative, right? So this is how we need to do. This is what we need to do. We need to put Jesus into our heart. That's where we now go to number 8. Put Jesus into your heart. Do you want to speak life? Do you want to speak hope? Do you want to use the power of words to bring life to other people? Then you have to have what? Christ. It only makes sense. You give what you have, right? You can't give something you don't have. We have sinful nature. That's what we give. That's why a lot of the marriages nowadays don't work out. Half of them don't even work out because we try to work this out with me, my power, my strength, my understanding, my will. Oh, surprised that work out. Gee, wonder why? Gee, wonder why? Right? We have no patience, nothing. But here, do we face the same situation? Of course we do. Every Christians who go through marriages will go through their difficulties. Yeah. Everybody does. We're no exception. But how do we get out of it? Well, because instead of this, we will try to do it with life, Christ. That's why we need to follow Christ. We need to speak Christ. And do not allow I be in my heart.
That's right.
Each and every day, we try to put Ruach into our mind, into our life. Scripture says, pray every day for the Spirit.
That's why we usually say, it's just us two, there's 3.
Yeah. So you just need that Spirit. You just need that breath of God into your life each and every day through prayer. Right? That's how we win. That's how we bring true power of words into life and not death. And number 9 says, stop trying to bend others to your will with your words. And we do that all the time. We try to do that all the time. When we get frustrated, somebody doesn't follow the way you want to, we yell. We try to bend their will. We try to bend their life. We try to manipulate their actions. We manipulate their thoughts by being louder, being more aggressive with words, be using words that will hurt them and break them down so that they could bend to your will. But we can't do that. We're not called to do that. We're not called to be influencers of our lives. We're called to be influencers of God. So we got to continue to work at that. The power of words is so powerful. You can't really describe how powerful it is. So we have to use that power with care and thoughts. That old cliche of Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, it's in there, trust me.
Just like was.
Yeah, that's in the Spider-Man.
Which one?
Every Spider-Man. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Great power comes with great responsibility. And I think that's true. You have the power of words. How do you use it for whom is important.
Yeah.
So let's do that. Let's use the words to praise God, to bring life to others, bring hope to those who doesn't have one. And that's who we are. And that's what we need to be.
And you just have to be careful not really to be manipulating them or let them manipulate you.
Yeah. And so as a parent, that's what you have to be careful of that. You really do. You don't want to bend them to your will, right? You want to allow them to grow, not to bend them to your will, but to God's will. You make sure you take care of them, you watch over them, you give them the love, and you show them the way, but you don't bend their will.
Yeah.
That's different, right? we we let them grow. I think I'm not patting myself on the back or anything. Just I think my oldest child, I've done what I can. I in the beginning I made lots of mistakes with her. I'm not saying I didn't.
Because it's the first. It's the first.
I thought being strict father and being a authoritative person. That's all I know. That's the only thing I knew, really. I learned it in the books, but that doesn't really translate. It just comes out naturally. Because I remember I give what I have, and that's all I had. And so as I immerse myself in God, and I realized that's not how I'm supposed to do. So I'll let her grow. I say I'm gonna let her grow. Let her be who she needs to be in God. And so I didn't try to manipulate her. I didn't try to shape her. I didn't try to do any of that. I just make sure that she's a person of God, and she loves God, and she loves family. She loves everyone, and she turned out well, I think. But it it's so difficult at times, especially a person in the leadership position like me. I always there are moments going, oh man, if I could just shake that a little bit, oh Dylan,
It's the same thing. It's like I told Dylan, I told him, I can't change you. I can't shape you. You have to do yourself. You change yourself. It's up your past. I didn't ask for your past. I didn't ask to listen to your past. You spoke it to me. I just sit there and listened to it. So I never asked for it. You told me your past, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's just different from my mom. My mom, she's like, she shaped my older sister the way how she wants it. And that's why she got married young at 16, and she never experienced nothing in life. And now she's suffering a lot being a mom of 11 kids. So, and she never experienced her youth. She never experienced no college. She never experienced anything. She's like that. Yeah, she's like, I never experienced anything like that because my mom molded her just to get married. The mold of the perfect girl, of the nice, tall, skinny, long hair, and and people just like awe in her, awe in my older sister, but and then she got married young, and then she's suffering. And then my mom tried to shape me, and I'm like, you could say, yeah, kind of rebellious, thank goodness, kind of, thank goodness for my rebellious. Say, no, I'm not going to be who you want me to be. I'm not going to be to be like you. I am who I am, why God, God created me for who I am. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry, no offense, you gave birth to me, but I'm just letting you know, it's like, I'm not going to be suffering in the end, suffer how my older sister's suffering. So no.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we just have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I picked this Bible study because of that. That we need to be who we need to be in God, and not to try to manipulate or shape other people. And be careful how we use the power of words. So I hope that was insightful. I thought it was pretty interesting. It just came to me this morning. I'm like, oh, hey, that was interesting.
Actually, it's good because it is true. Because you think about it, trying to shape a person just to be of your. I told him that if you're trying to shape a person to be what you want, that's just like you're constantly idle, where you constantly want to shape, want to. Then if that person's not shaping the way you want, you just throw it away and grab another one, start shaping. It's like a clay mold. But you can't do that. Only God can only mold you. His own finger, his own, like you said, his own breath give to you. He can only mold you for who you are. So you can't mold like a human being like us. They can't mold that person.
Yeah,
So,
and that's how it usually is. It doesn't work out any other way.
Yeah.
So, and also it comes out from a selfish perspective and a sinful perspective. So, yeah, it comes from that. So hopefully, we could be better, a little bit better with this. So, all right, let's pray. Father God, we choose thank you for today. Thank you for the time of understanding and reflection. May we continue to be like you. Always try to strive to be good and be righteous before you, God. Thank you for all you have done, and thank you for all you have given us. And pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen.